Okay, so this is my suggestion for starting out with Arthur. Arthur is a very strong aspect of the sword that does a lot of damage, but is slow. So while it's tempting to always go for the third hit of the combo, it's going to get you hit a lot. So what we're going to try and do is make the most of the hits we're going to get using Afro Attack. And just for fun, we'll do Extreme Measures 4 and Tight Deadline, but the rest will be mostly the standard game.
Hi, Aphrodite.
Ready yourself, dearest, because you and I, we're going to have ourselves a little outing I expect that neither one of us shall soon forget.
Well then. So, as suggested, we're going to start with the attack. And already we see we're one-shotting a lot of these lower enemies. So as we pawn that, it's only going to get more obscene.
Gemstones. Hello, Koi.
For this run, we're going to prioritize movement and defense. And we're going to assume that a combination of Afro Attack and maybe some Artemis boons will give us all the damage we need. So maybe in Asphodel we'll switch to Athena and work on some defense.
You found me, Artemis.
All right, Zagreus. Catch your breath, decide, and then what say we get you out of hell, maybe?
That sounds great. Hilarious. Here, I'm not a huge fan of the aid, so let's go with True Shot. For those of you who are just getting your upgrades from the contractor, I really like Nectar in the early going because you'll have one or two boons that make up the core of your build, and there we go. Here, let's roll this, see what we get. This, for those of you who don't know, these boss rooms have a higher chance for legendaries and just higher rarities generally. So here we actually have the recipe for a duo boon. I believe it's Heartrend. So should we get this duo boon, we're going to already skyrocket our damage if we get crits. So let's try that out and see how we do.
One scratch and all your efforts will be lost.
And that's the problem with doing Erebus Gates with melee weapons, is you get one flame wheel, it explodes, you get an onion, you're sad.
Oh well.
Oh well indeed.
Change of plan.
Let's keep going down the Artemis route.
Hey, Meg. Here.
Take it away.
See you at home. One less giant evil crystal then.
Hunter's Mark is really good. If I was to get a core boon from Artemis now, it'd probably be the special, because that would be an easily accessed way to start getting Hunter's Mark around, and Hunter's Mark fuels itself. So if you can get it going, it can just bounce back and forth.
Nice.
Good to see you. Baldy and I have got the usual for you right here, Your Highness.
Don't need healing.
Here you are.
Thank you, mate. Good seeing you as ever there, Baldy.
For those who don't know,
A pleasure.
you can eventually give Voldy nectars and he'll give you a little boost. So in this case, we get 4% more gold every time we get gold, which is good. We already have a lot of gold, so not super necessary, but more is more.
It's just the edge I need.
And this is probably the best hammer you can hope to get with Arthur, because it'll take advantage of your high damage and allow you to keep moving and get that big numbers. This is kind of a meme, and this does better when you have something maybe like Flurry Slash, where you're going to be attacking a lot. But for now, we're going to stick with Double Edge. So now, when we do our Dash Strike, we'll get 2 attacks instead of 1. And not a moment too soon, because Arthur would generally struggle getting through all these bits of armor.
Denizens of the deep, arise.
So that was an unusual case, but that is definitely a case where the double edge comes really in handy. Because obviously with big slow attacks, one hit invincibility sucks a lot. We'll take the health. Arthur is a really tanky aspect. It gives you 50 free health, but it has to be. So we won't say no to health even though we've got that bonus. Beautiful. Alright. Afro's great. I'm gonna say no to that because I really want it on Artemis. Really tempting though, that big hit, but if we can get Hunter's Mark rolling, we'll use the duo bow.
I've got a lot of payback to administer here, let me tell you, Zach.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've won. We'll pre-cook the third swing so we can get that big important damage. There we see the problem with Arthur was like he was trying to get the special out to help deal with the projectiles, but it's very slow.
Come on, closer, Zach.
Alright, a little sloppy, but prove the point where the trouble with Arthur is if you stand there and hit X, you're going to get smacked, but if you have something like Double Edge, you can still get big damage while keeping mobile. So here we really want Artemis, so let's force her. Cast does us nothing, even though we have a cast, we're not using it, so. Alright, super.
Change of scenery at least.
Do we want a palm? Not really.
I have a better idea.
Hermes is fine. Supposedly, attack speed isn't as good as you would think, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. Obviously, we're gonna get a lot out of these dash attacks, so we'll keep using those. I like hyper sprint. So something small you may have noticed there is you can actually store that third hit of the combo, dash, and then do it anyway. So that allows you some mobility, so you don't have to get creamed every time you try and use that big swing. I'll try and do it right here. Yeah, so if you start the swing, then dash, you'll come out at the other end and swing for however much your attack is doing. Which in my case is around 400. Yeah.
Next island.
Here, I really want that Artemis special, so let's try and roll that. Beautiful. Sorry, Afro.
Sometimes I think that you're quite different than most all the others here, darling. And then you go and do something like this.
Well, I'm sorry, Afro, but I need to use Hunter's Mark. Of course, I'm not using it because they're all spawning one at a time.
Now she's angry.
And something funny you can do against Afro specifically, as you saw, the heart would just sit there because projectiles move slower on this ground. Unless they, of course, spawn in you, which makes me sad.
It is through times of difficulty that the love...
Yes. We'll take that. We're taking damage, unfortunately. What chamber is that? 19? Let's see what Athena's got. If I could get her dash, I'd feel really good about our chances. We'll push this witch up, so then we can call Meg. She'll have all three. By all three, I mean through the floor. Beautiful.
I'm not in any mood to trifle with your father's nonsense this time, Zagreus. So use this.
We can switch to a different boon.
I'm gonna go... It's between the call and bronze skin. The call is good. Lets you get those big swings out without much fear of repercussion, which is nice. Well, that's even nicer.
Fountain chamber.
You know
My
what?
fate is mine.
Take the palm. Hope for a palm on special. If you don't already know, the palm's diminished rate of return happens after the first one. So if you can palm something once, that's the highest value you're going to get.
Nearly made it.
Oh, you missed it.
Power of Olympus.
Yeah, let's get that percentage up. If it's nice and high, then it'll really bounce around. Let's try and get the dash. I'm not using the cast, so not going to use that. The dash on the other hand will keep us
Power of
alive.
the gods.
Small point, but it's an error. I knew I wanted a dash. It's not a good thing to palm, so I should have bought the palm first. Didn't end up technically punishing, but small mistake.
Not really in a talking mood this time, Lenny.
Lay down the consecrated ground so we can stand on the lava. If you are struggling with this EM2 fight, something you might notice is as soon as Lerny's head shows up, I just get out of there. With him and 2 other heads on there, it's way too congested. So I'm trying to get in the habit of just leaving him to rot. Super. That is a dead Hydra. Fish.
Come, fishies. Got it.
Beautiful. Alright. With that out of the way, let's move to Elysium. For Elysium, the greedy path would be to take Palm Blossom, hope it hits the attack. I've been in the habit, just for preserving Death Defiances, of taking Acorn every time I come to Elysium, so I don't have to worry about it. I'll take the attack just to help us get through a little easier.
For Asphodel. Pleasant temperature.
Lots of options. Hermes, not that exciting. Corn, not that exciting. Let's go see Chaos. Oh, missed the coin pot. Good. Solid. What's up next? It's spoilers.
Forgive us, Hades, as we are amid exchanging memories.
Cast. Really don't care about that, so super.
Certainly.
You again.
Where I'm not running Fated Persuasion and can't reroll Chaos, it's mostly just which one will hurt me the least. And we get punished again for trying to use the 3rd stab as opposed to the dash strike. No, please. Still no crits. I don't think I've seen Hunter's Mark go off once.
I'll just take that.
Unfortunate. Hammer or... Where we're trying to survive, let's take the shop. It's a free room. I don't really think I want anything from Poseidon. So, we'll just not. Ares, there's some small buffs he can give, namely Urge to Kill.
That fix so much again. Thank you.
Our messenger Hermes has been in contact with you by now, yes? Perhaps you shall not see him very often, for my work keeps him rather preoccupied shepherding souls and such.
Actually see him a lot, twice a run. Yeah, so this is the big one for if you're trying to splash Ares, Urge to Kill. Very, very good. I think Battle Rage is in there too. Oh, and of course, I cast only when I have Chaos. Hunter's Mark. Consecrated Ground is amazing for flame wheels. It lets you really pick that you're gonna attack from outside their explosion range. So, oh Christ. We already discussed why those two are not very good, so let's go with this one. I'll take Exposed if I can get it. For those who are learning, privilege status is a very good thing. If there are 2 debuffs on an enemy, you do 40% more damage. And Exposed is a really, really easy way to do that. I am getting demolished by these flame wheels. The cast costs less. Alright, well that was sloppy. Perfect. We'll take that. There's an argument for either. We could use more cash for 6, so maybe that was the right way, but... Let this respawn. This respawn. So once again, the strength of Dash Strike comes up. As we're seeing with these souls, I'm able to, in one attack, essentially, pop the armor and pop it, making it much less time consuming to deal with them.
Good enough to eat.
I'll do that. It's 4% on 3 things as opposed to 10% on 1. Truly the goddess of the hunt. Beautiful.
The power of the gods.
I don't know about you, but I really like putting points into Athena Call. You can get to a point where you have full call and you're just invincible for upwards of like 10 seconds. It's really, really good.
Damnable fools.
Right.
And my keep.
Getting it after the fight ends. Why I oughta. Cool. And that was Elysium. Easy peasy. Well, that was very slow.
Another clam.
I apparently fell asleep at the wheel. So, same thing as before with the palm. I have things I want to palm, so let's grab this first.
Boon got better, huh?
Yeah,
My heart is full.
sure. Remember guys, the best way to make a guide is to get a legendary, so it's completely useless. Okay, so this fight just got more interesting. Please stop spinning. Thank you. throw that in his path to slow him down a little bit. Easing it away. And we'll go right back to Dash Strike. Okay, you only know how to spin. That's cool. See if we can't get both. Or get neither. Oh, he got affected by Dionysus. That's fine. Well, that answers the question of if you charm Theseus, will the gods attack the Minotaur? And the answer is yes.
To my greatest fan.
Keep Acorn on.
Finest of these.
Incredibly good. I'm sure.
Payment in full.
Probably not a big deal. That will almost, well, it will go away before Hades, but it might help in one of the boss chambers. Alright, let's see what we got.
Watch out for that.
Let's get some more arty. Boy, this sucks. We are almost never getting these, so I guess we'll do that. And then in some magical world where we get crits. Okay, I'm gonna go to Artemis first.
Maybe it's in here.
There is a boon called Pressure Points. That'll make it so everything I do has a chance to crit. And that will make it so I can at least get Hunter's Mark going, maybe from just attacks. Because right now, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I hate this stuff.
I do have it, right? Yeah. No, nice. No. Rats, please. It's crazy how hard it is to get a special down in a room like, oh no.
It's back.
No, you little bastard. Please. I did that way late, but a good time to do that to Vermin is when he's summoning. Did I do that? Sort of. No, nope. Okay.
Thank you, Artemis.
Pressure points. Okay.
My senses sharpen.
To be clear, none of those were what I wanted. But
Why
you
not?
take what you can get. I'm not gonna bother with Hunter's Mark because if I ever land a crit. I wonder if you can get Hunter's Mark above 100%.
Stonewall.
Question for another time. So we're gonna do the other boss room.
This way.
We're deep into Afro, and the boss rooms tend to be pretty quick, so they're not a bad way to go. Other useful tip for Styx and Arthur is the consecrated ground, as you see, slows the Beyblades. But it can also affect the poison. So all these rats are putting poison on the ground. I don't want to be poisoned, so I can hang out there and be safe. Here we're going to see if we can get a meg. Here we're going to get lucky and get a meg. No, we're going to get an extra cast. Right. Oh, maybe you can get poisoned. Maybe it's because it landed on me. I'm not sure. Nice.
There it is already.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we already discussed why this is useless, so let's hope Hunter's Mark gets going in the Hades fight.
Back I go.
I don't think there's anything else I really want, so let's do this EM4 thing with Arthur.
I owe you one, boy. Hate to keep you from your parchment work.
No matter how quickly you're able to get here, I shall be waiting.
Okay, here's the consecrated ground defensively, and then he leaves. Alright, so again. Spin again. It's kind of the dangerous thing about the charm state, is like he'll come out of it in weird parts of animations. Alright, I was gonna say, if I don't get a Hunter's Mark, especially in like 1,000 things, it's never gonna happen, so. Excuse me, students. Spin again. Did want to get rid of that ad, but I'd like to be rid of this universe. Just the visual noise is getting to be a lot. Spin again. Get hit by it anyway, even if you don't describe it. Okay. No meg.
Let's finish this.
That does it.
I really just wanted to give you a play. Wow. So EM4, he does the little pulse around him, so I can't approach him. Spin again. Can't cancel out of it because of charm. Smack to the face because we're playing slapping. Hilarious. Turn out of it. Do it. No, I don't. do.
Now, Cerberus.
We're just gonna... There is a safe spot on the sides, but I'm just gonna go. Alright, 2 DDs. Last phase. Very good.
Then this is it.
Spell again.
Not yet.
You're stuck. Darkness.
Alright. Super.
For a student of Achilles, I fear that you surpassed even his skill by now. You win, boy.
Goodbye, Father.
Alright. So,
In my father's name.
as you may have seen, unhealthy fixation actually made it harder. So that's something to know. But the big points of this build are Heartbreak Strike, and that's basically it. Like, nothing else was doing a huge amount of work. I wasn't critting a ton. This was helpful for being tanky. So was this. So is this. Sturdy is a good status effect. Makes you take less damage and makes it so you're not interrupted, which, as you saw, is very unfortunate for Arthur when you start your third swing and then get smacked out of it. And then for defense, I'm always an advocate of the dash from Athena and the call from Athena. Having those moments of invulnerability and doing big damage with the sword, very helpful. So anyway, this video is very long, but this is my video on clearing EM4 with Arthur's sword.